Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. Welcome to another scene in this grand living world of darkness, in this grand Rage Across New York venue. The scene is set with our dear Getafinerus Annalise getting off of whatever transport that she took for this particular trip. She finds herself in front of a construction yard, the property having been obtained by New Haven Construction. You can see that the place has been rather run down. You can see that this place has not seen a good day's work in quite a number of months, even. You can see that this is the beginning of a new revitalizing project. Something new will be built here, but before that, you can see a lot of the destruction and the demolition that has already taken place. You see a few of the yellow caterpillar machines starting to work their way into the scenery just a little bit. But for your case, you'll be met out front by a man that you would understand to be one of Alan Stewart's kinfolk, actually. He, upon seeing you, will go ahead and just simply open the gate for you, let you in.
She will smile and say thank you.
You go ahead and are led in, and you're pretty much directed to a trailer, actually, towards the back end of this lot.
She will knock on the door.
You hear from inside, come in!
She peeks in,
Hmm.
looks in.
You go ahead and peek in, and inside you see Alan Stewart in front of a desk, currently writing down a few hundred odd numbers in his ledger, actually. And upon seeing you, he's going to go ahead and put the pen down, fold it over, takes his reading glasses off, puts on his rose-tinted glasses, looks at you, points at an actual folding chair, a folding chair in this goddamn cramped corridors, and says, "Sit."
She's gonna grab the folding chair and find a clearish spot to sit down in.
What can I do you for, Annalise?
Thank you for seeing me on such short notice. I appreciate it. I just have some concerns with how the situation with Dale is being handled.
Okay, okay. From your perspective, what exactly is going on?
I am receiving conflicted direction from both my job and my auspice currently. We have been instructed by the warder as the four Cleath Philodox to gather when we can and make judgment on this situation.
And what is currently the situation? Why has the dear Raya Travis called upon the four Philodoxes for this case? What is the case?
Vale Bakas is accused of challenging a leader in time of war.
Seems as if that would be an actual simpler case, simply by reviewing what was said, interviewing the Raya, interviewing the kin.
Which is our plan, Warrenfell Riot. We have a meeting set up for Monday evening.
Very well. It seems as if at least that path is clear. Your auspice duties are clearly defined. How does this conflict with your guardian duties?
My guardian duties directly, the warder was clear and his instructions were bring Vale to the warder.
Mm-hmm.
So taking Vale to the dungeons, taking Vale anywhere but directly to the warder, seems to defy his words.
Okay. Well, Annalise, maybe this is a bit more complicated than you're making it, or maybe I'm just seeing a very, very simple solution when there really isn't. Do. The orders by our by Travis Raya were to bring the kinfolk known as Vale to him.
Correct.
Uh, Travis is currently patrolling the Sept grounds. It would not be too much of a bother to go ahead and find Val, take him to the Sept, make sure that he is watched over, looked after, make sure he doesn't go anywhere. And when the dear warden finally makes his rounds all the way through, you go ahead and present the kinfolk to Travis.
Correct. That isn't being debated, Raya.
Then tell me where the miscommunication is.
The miscommunication is between myself and another guardian where Vale is to be captured and held as prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but I do not understand the necessity of this. He says it's to keep him safe, but what is he being kept safe from? What is his? Why is he being put into a prison when I am clearly capable of keeping tabs on my mate?
Very well then. Very well then. Uh, to. So you think that the jailing of your maid is a little bit too excessive, too much.
I do.
All right. Barring actually imprisoning the kinfolk, or at least watching over him, how would you suggest to watch over the kinfolk prior to bringing him to Travis?
Well, I stay with him. That's it's as simple as that.
Fair enough. Then it seems as if you have a solution before you, my dear Annalise. If you can, make sure to stick with dear Bacchus until such time you can actually deliver him to the Raya. And in the spirit, at least, of the warden's commands, make sure that Bacchus stays within the set.
Of course.
This is my general advice to you. Take my words as wisdom, but nothing else.
Okay.
Now, tell me, who is this other guardian that you seem to be in conflict with?
Antonio.
Hmm. Antonio happens to be one of my pack mates. I can speak to him, perhaps not on your path, but with your words. What would you say to Antonio right now? You say that it is unnecessary to go ahead and imprison the kinfolk. However, he sees it to be pertinent.
I would just ask for clarification as to why it's pertinent.
The reasoning he gives you is for his own safety. You're not
And
satisfied with that short answer, I take it.
no, I want to know what he's being kept safe from, and why the safety of my company or the company of another Garu is not satisfactory, and he must be jailed. It's our job to keep all of the kinfolk in our sept safe, regardless of who they are or why they're here.
Perhaps it is because he is the subject of a to be held Philodox ruling that he is taking such an extreme action, or at least suggesting it.
Why am I fine.
You are indeed a Philodox. He is a ragbash. He does not understand.
And I have tried to communicate my opinions and feelings, but it has not worked so far.
How long have you been in this city? In the sept?
Just a month.
Just a month. You're still getting your sea legs. You're still trying to figure out how this sept works, right?
Yes.
This is what I suggest. I suggest that when you finally pin Antonio down to a conversation, you go ahead and raise your voice just a tiny bit. Being a soft mouth with him will not do. He has been within the nation for, well, many years at least, and he has gained the right of Fostern. But that does not mean that you, being Cleath, cannot challenge his words every so often.
Understood.
In this situation, you are both equal because you are both guardians. And you may go ahead and voice your concerns. And you can go ahead and place more directive, at least now, when we are not under fire. Currently, the warden has gone ahead and said that we are in a state of war. And this is true. However, without any proper discussion and a level head behind the scenes, we will do more harm than good. This does not extend itself to the field of battle. In the field of battle, if Antonio tells you to run, you run.
Correct.
Now, is there anything you need from me, more personally, Annalise?
I don't know.
How are you settling into the sept?
Aside from this adventure, fine. I actually like it here.
Tell me about your deeds.
About my deeds, sir?
I am a Galliard. It is my business to know the wonderful stories about all my septmates.
Well, so far I have assisted in the shark attack. I did attempt to curtail Emmett from his moment of panic. I didn't do so well, but I distracted him for a moment, I believe.
You're talking about the situation in which Travis Raya fell the beast in one blow, and y'all gathered around and jumped into the mystery machine, right?
Yeah, and then the thing came back to life and he killed it again, and then Emmett lost his face.
that thing that Wereshark nearly killed Emmett, and I would have been very, very sad if he did go. The fact that he frenzied worries me considerably because I know for a fact that that particular Garu is no fighter unless he is frenzying.
Yeah, I know. He hit me pretty hard. And Emmett is a dear friend.
Tell me about your relationships with the other Garu in the steppe. Who do you find as a friend?
Emmett and I have become good friends. Um, Anna Road Rage is my pack sister and my roommate. We are very close.
This is true. This is true. You happen to be of the knighthood of the Black Mane, right?
Knights of the Black Mane, yes.
True, true, true. That Road Rage, she's a very good dancer.
She is very eccentric. That's what I like about her.
I just like it that we can go ahead and swing dance with each other and beat people's heads over.
Well,
Me and her one night went to this punk show, right?
Oh, I
And
heard about that with Vale's father.
yes, with Mr. Picasso Senior. Me and Road Rage, oh, we had a fantastic time. We flowed, we danced, we were like water. I actually did consider her recruitment material, but day late and dollar short, I'm afraid.
She's a good friend and a good ally.
Mm-hmm. Tell me how this new pack is doing.
We haven't had much opportunity to gather as a pack with Xavier being away, but we have been accepted by Black Unicorn, so we will follow in Black Unicorn's honor. Xavier calls us the lawful good.
Lawful good. You notice that there's absolutely no. He may have chuckled, he may have laughed, but there's actually no amusement or joy in Alan's words.
Yeah.
And tell me, how is your alpha doing?
So far, he's been good. He hasn't. We haven't really done much yet. We're just gathering our bearings as a pack.
What do you think your pack will go ahead and specialize? There will be a point in time where your pack will be called upon to prove itself, but not until it's the right time.
We will be focusing on fighting.
Combat pack.
Yes.
Very well. We have, well, we don't have an overabundance of combat packs. I myself wish to see more influence and monkey wrenching packs, but this is the troops that Gaia gives us. You don't go to war with the soldiers you want. You go to the war with the soldiers you have.
And sometimes soldiers are housewives.
Fair enough, fair enough. Although, the one thing that I have noticed about this step that troubles me just a tiny little bit is the lack of influence that we actually have outside of the Sept grounds.
That is definitely something to look into.
I'll tell you this. What do you know about the cleanup efforts after the hunters hit the Museum of Natural History?
I don't know much of any of it, to be honest.
Right. Well, myself, for 12 hours after the attack, for the continuing 12 hours after the attack was in constant communication with and at the command of Hardlight, a glass walker of this particular sept.
I did encounter Hardlight. I was there with the Mystery Machine adventure.
Mm-hmm. My kin were also there and gave me several glowing reviews about the Garu that were there. In both cases, the museum as well as the Were Shark attack, I was under hard light doing my damnedest to make sure that the mess was cleaned up and that no evidence could be captured to break the veil. It has come to my attention that perhaps I am the only one that is capable of doing so, and that disheartens me.
That is definitely an unfortunate thing. If I may offer any assistance, I would be glad to.
In the coming days, I foresee several things coming from the alpha of the set, from Mother Larissa. I'm very, very certain that we didn't cover everything in our cleanup. She'll see things that we don't, and she'll need people to actually go out and put boots in the ground to fix certain things. She would call it a milk run. I would call it a necessity.
Absolutely. We can't see everything as much as we try.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, Annalise, I seem to be taking so much of your time, but if you'll just humor me just a little bit more.
Oh, of course. It's no worry. I'm enjoying myself.
What other closer relationships have you gathered to yourself? You have mentioned once or twice that you have taken Val Bacchus as your mate. How is that relationship progressing?
Um, right now we're under a little bit of stress given the situation,
Mm-hmm.
but we are planning on getting married in the eyes of the Hamid world, and it's progressing well. He is a good man.
Tell me about him. I have never had the benefit of a closer perspective about him. I've seen him outside. I've seen him out and about. I've seen how wonderful a fighter he is, how tough his fists are to my face. But I
I
do not know his more gentler side.
I think that the thing that draws me to him the most is how passionate he is about the things he believes in. And I think that that's something that is greatly misconstrued by many of the outsiders looking in who don't listen to everything and listen to parts, as it were.
Hmm.
His objective for his lifetime is to see that all of his people, the kinfolk, are treated well throughout the entire nation. The kinfolk here, I've noticed, have got it very good.
Say again.
The kinfolk in this particular sept have it very good. They're treated well.
Hmm.
But there are kinfolk in other septs and other places that are treated like property, that are treated as breeding stock, and that's something that he is passionate about, he believes in. I think that one man versus so many years of tradition and general acceptance of the way that it is a little foolish, to be honest. I don't think that in his lifetime he'll see his goal achieved, but I do know that what people perceive as him wanting to be Garu, which is a rumor that I've heard around, it's not what he wants at all. He wants to make sure that the kinfolk are cared for and loved.
Hmm. You should at some point or another go ahead and ask Val how he was able to take his family from his previous sept. It's quite a harrowing tale. It
I do know a little bit of it, and I do know some of his father's personal history.
I would suggest you sit down with Val and have a very, very long conversation about that. His experiences, as well as his father, is very, very tied to him. It's what has made his identity. I would know. I have brought kinfolk in a much, much similar fashion, in fact. I came to the Sept with about 15 individuals following closely behind me. All refugees, all from another Sept, with only myself to lead them. Ask him how it feels to lead a group of people away from a bad situation and how to try to make their situation better. I'm sure it'll be a wonderful, wonderful story, and I do not want you to miss out on it, especially when you have a fantastic opportunity to hear it.
I don't know, that's good. I did make a suggestion to him earlier this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I likened it to you might appreciate this being the Galliard that you are. You know the puzzles that they make that are one big picture made out of tiny, tiny pictures? Do you know what I'm speaking of?
To the tiny eye.
Yeah, it's little tiny pictures, and when you put the puzzle all together, it's something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Vale is focusing on the larger picture, and he's missing out on the little ones that he can manage and control.
Annalise, I agree.
So my suggestion to him was to focus on what he can control right here. You said that you brought 15 refugees here. He brought his refugees here. Who knows who else has kinfolk out there that might need help? So give them somewhere to be. Give them help.
Be a person to intake new people. Be a name that people talk about, not in fear, not in reverence, just as a contact to go to. Be the Picasso Railroad, as it were.
Exactly. You understand where I'm coming. I I I told him that he might want to look into maybe an outreach center or a shelter of sorts, an apartment complex, somewhere that these refugees, even Garu refugees like myself, can come in.
I am terribly sorry. I have not even asked where you come from.
Um, I am from a sept in Norway outside of Oslo.
Hmm.
I it's called the Sept of the Thundering Drum. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's rather small.
Hmm.
My alpha is my father. Well, my alpha was my father, and I am no longer permitted to be in the country of Norway.
Now, why is that? Did you get in trouble with the Hamid authorities or something else?
I was forced to marry against my will, and my husband denied our marriage in front of my father, the alpha, during a moot, and called me an unworthy wife. So I was punished for 3 years, and after 3 years, I left.
So, because your husband declared you well, not worth his time, unworthy, a less than, you were punished for 3 years. Was that the official punishment, or was that an informal thing?
I was banned to the location where the metis were kept.
So you were struck down to them.
Correct.
Kept confined, kept restricted, your moves followed.
Correct. I was given the responsibility of assisting the den mother with the metis cubs.
Assisting the Den Mother, that is a wonderful and glorious honor. He goes ahead and chuckles to himself. There's a genuine chuckle in there that I myself partook in this set for a few months, but I can understand where the frustration, the anger, and just the general bullshit of that situation would be. Let me ask you this: how did the punishment end? Did you just simply leave, or what?
I was given the option to stay and continue my duties or leave the country.
Were you given any direction to go?
No.
Simply cast out.
Correct. So
What made you come here?
the library.
Continue.
Something that I did with the assistance of the den mother that my alpha does not know is that I studied for those 3 years. And I got a degree in library sciences.
Congratulations. Do you still hold that degree?
I do.
Would you like to use it someday?
I would, very much so.
Very well. You are a half moon.
Yes.
The curse does not affect you as strongly as it does myself. Perhaps there is a position in one of the university libraries, or perhaps one of the more general libraries that you can go ahead and find yourself in.
I have been looking. I had been offered by someone to run their personal library, but I will be turning that request down.
Fair enough. The Raya Travis actually does have some contacts, and influence within academia. If you were to put aside whatever grievance you have with him for right now and request it from him, even if he did have something against you, or even if he would feel like you're disrespecting him, he would gladly do it. He is that type of man. He is not one to block another person's advancement simply because he is a bit frustrated.
I don't think that there is any ill will between myself and the warder. I count Travis Raya as a friend, I would say, even.
Hmm.
He's one of the first people I met when I came here.
That is always the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, certainly go to Travis Raya. Ask him if he cannot find a position for you in one of the university libraries. He'd be more than glad to, and is well within his power.
I will.
Now, aren't you so fantastically glad we had this conversation?
I am. I'm glad I came out.
The issue with your mates, please do not worry about it too overly much. You can leave your concerns with me if you would like.
That would be most helpful.
Very well then. You are dismissed. Have a wonderful and pleasant evening.
Thank you for your time and counsel. I very much appreciate it. And she will bow her head and fold her chair back up, put it back where she found it, and take her leave.
A fucking ghetto morning kill. All right. You go ahead and pop out the trailer, and you are pretty much escorted out of the construction yard to do as you're wont to do. Any last actions you would like to perform, or any final thoughts you would like to give?
No, I think I'm pretty good.
Hmm? Fair enough. Alan will go ahead and open up his ledger again and continuing on the awful sport of accounting. And there we will leave our scene. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Y'all have a great day.